What's up, everybody? We're getting ready for our special about
the Wendigo. Special on the Wendigo. So, and then we're going to try to get 16 and 17 done today too. So we got a big day of podcasting all mother loving day, guys.
Yeah.
So don't be worried. We'll get you entertained. We'll keep it going.
Yeah. Okay.
So
let's shit all over to our.
And I've been thinking too. They got these podcast microphones, kind of like the gaming ones, with the mic right here. I've been thinking about getting that because I'm over on the computer. Sometimes I forget to step close to my mic. Sometimes.
And you're like, hey, what's so good,
Yeah. I was thinking about that. If I could find my mic for the game ones I had, I could use them.
Yeah, but it gets fuzzy. The fuzzy part.
Well, I ain't worried about that. I can always put it there.
Ew. Used?
Okay. No, just do that because it's still recording.
Yeah.
So shut up. All right, everything's ready.
Don't touch me.
I'm gonna do it because I am Lexi.
Ready?
I have to kick myself.
Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. And welcome back to our podcast. This is Ghost Stories Told from the South. I am your co-host, Lexi.
And I am yours.
And I am your Shigoro.
Well, it's just, I just went to say it and they just said,
Okay, 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to another podcast. This is Ghost Stories Told from the South. I am your co-host, Lexi.
And I am your host, Steven Doozy, ready to tell you some creepy stories.
Okay, yeah, you did it right that time.
Today's our special, so
yes.
I wonder what we're going to do today.
Okay, and we are going to start by changing things up. Just stay tuned at the end for our shout-outs and about our Instagram and Twitter and our Facebook and all that jazz. And yeah, and we also have a very creepy ghost story of our own to tell you guys at the very end too, so stay tuned for that. So today, we are going to be covering the Wendigo. Now, if you have not listened to our podcast about Helltown, I think that was special number 2, then you need to go back and listen to that because that ties into this. So,
He's a creepy looking dude. If y'all don't know anything about this guy, he's some kind of like demon kind of.
Yeah, there's like 2 parts to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, okay.
He's creepy, I know that shit.
Let's go ahead and get started on this guy. So I attempted to get sightings in all 50 states.
And to back her up, we did try to watch a documentary on it.
Which I will
But it was boring, and it just went over the middle part of the Wendigo.
It didn't go over like the actual sightings and stuff like there was in Helltown or like that I read on it. It just said like the mental state, and we'll talk about that too.
It's crazy. It was a boring documentary.
And then we watched a movie over it, which it wasn't like the best. It was kind of stupid, but we attempted. So
I think you've seen that in the woods. Did you crap your pants?
Yeah. Okay. So these are the states that I was only able to find stuff on. I was only able to find stuff on in Washington. Washington State, not Washington, D.C. Because I know those are 2 different things. California, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, Mississippi, Indiana, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, West Virginia. God dang. I'm sorry. I have little inside jokes about West Virginia, and I say West Virginia. Yeah. Sorry.
And when she says Arkansas, she goes
Arkansas or Arkansas. So sorry about that, guys. I'm not trying to make fun of your state. That's the little kid in me. Sorry. Vermont.
Regina.
Vermont, Connecticut, and Canada. I know it's not a U.S. thing. And then there's also some in the UK, but I tried to just stay in the US because right now we're not like that big. So we're trying to stay in the US right now.
Like a northern thing.
Yeah, but and it's like the documentaries that we tried to watch, they're in Canada and stuff like that. They're just about Canada. But I did find some sightings and stuff. And,
sorry about that.
But I couldn't find a lot in like that. Like I only found like a handful in the States. So in Ohio, but we already covered Ohio in our Helltown special, so go back and listen to that one. But okay, so let's go ahead and get started.
But hey, we do want to say something though. It's weird. I have, with this podcast, I have another one with my niece. Lexi has one she does with her daughter, with her sister and her friend, and then I have like 3 football podcasts I do every day. College football and a pro one and a fantasy football.
Oh yeah, this is our scary story.
We can get ready for any of them other podcasts. I can get in here and get ready for any of them other podcasts. Nothing happens. Everything starts out smooth. Everything's fine. It never fails. Every time we're in here in the room getting ready to do the Ghost Stories Told from the South podcast, something weird happens. It's like today. We got everything ready, got the video set up, got the recording sounded good, did a couple of test runs. We're like, okay, this is what we like, we're going with it. And you know, like I've been leaving the laptop over here on the side to give us something to look at, you know,
like
while
to
we're
look
doing
at
it.
the sets, places, and stuff like that.
Well, it's half charged. We go outside, I come back in, the soundboard we had up for the podcast is totally different. It's something else. We had to go back and find that one that we had. Then the computer over here was turned off. We had to get it turned back on and boot back up again. It's just never fails, people. Every time we go to do the Ghost Stories Told from the South, something freaking weird happens or strange, something you can't explain.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I know it wasn't the kids to come in here and mess with it, because the files and stuff they got to go through and find, they're not going to know what they are.
Yeah, they don't know how to, like, they know how to, like, get on YouTube, but they don't know how to, like, actually work a computer. And with Dad's, like, in order for them to know how to turn it off, they just close it, and it wasn't closed. They don't know how to actually, you know,
it was
normally
weird.
turn
It was
it off.
actually on a different file and on a different soundboard. It's
So,
like, what?
we already had a creepy thing happen, which
Yeah.
we're getting used to because it happens every time we gotta tell a story.
Oh,
So,
gosh.
it's like, it's a little creepy. So, okay, let's get started on this Wendigo. Okay, so when I was researching it, I was like, what are you waving at? Sorry, I forgot we had the camera on, so I was like, what are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was researching, I was like, okay, they said that their Wendigo is like a relative to like skinwalkers maybe, and Bigfoot, and like maybe a werewolf. Like,
Well, that makes sense because, I mean, there's a lot of Indian
yeah.
folklore about it.
And like if you look at the stories and listen, which we'll go on about in a minute, the way that some of these like are so weird, and it does go into like how these 3 things are. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
So like yeah. Well, there is some talk about like it's a actual creature in the woods, and there's some talk about it being like a spirit/demon thing. So I'm covering more of like the creature aspect thing, which we can talk about the spirit thing, but I think more of the creature thing. That's just my opinion. But you'll come to find out later on what you like better. So,
Sorry.
okay. And I couldn't ever just find one theory about how this thing started. There's so many theories. Like, everyone has different opinions about how it started, and like different like, you know, theories about how it started. So it's different to everybody, and they don't know like for sure what it is. They know what it is, the Wendigo, but they don't know like what it is specifically, because it's like, and a lot of the stories they'll say like it's a half man, half animal. They don't like, it's weird. And when my sister and my brother were watching it, they were like, oh my god, that's the goat man. They thought it was the goat man.
Oh my god.
Which I was like, guys, but they're
See,
also
this
like,
is-
they're under 10. So.
This is crazy too. Reading it's right here. It says how the Wendigo likes to mess with you and toy with you before it kills you.
Yeah, see,
That's weird.
that's the spiritual aspect of it.
See, man, I'd much rather someone just go ahead and bite my head off, kill me.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
chase me around the woods for an hour and then kill me. What an asshole.
Yeah. Okay, so this is sort of the history. I'm
No
going to
wonder
kind
he
of go
don't
into the
like it.
history a little bit before I do the sightings. And in the sightings, in each story, and like I said, the handful of stories I have, you're going to get tired of me hearing it, but in each story that I have, I'm going to describe to you what they said the Wendigo looks like. And you're going to get tired of me saying it, but it comes together in the end. So, okay, there's this theory. This Wendigo person was once a lost hunter, and there was this brutal cold winter that had came, and he got a hunger so intense that it drove him to cannibalism, and he transformed into a crazy beast, aka the Wendigo. So when people say that he's about 15 foot tall, which it varies from like 8 feet to 15 feet tall. So like it's different to everybody. And then large sharp claws, the eyes almost look like owl eyes, and they're like dark and black. He has a skeleton-like figure with an ash-tone skin tone, which is also weird. I found that because like in the Wendigo, the Helltown documentary thing that we covered, he's all muscular. But in this one, like there's no other stories of him being muscular.
Huh.
So I was like, that's weird. And then what Dad was saying, how he mimics stuff, like he will mimic human voices. Like if you think like one of the stories we'll get into, their friend is like at the house or something, and they hear their friend's voice in the woods, so that they go to check it out, and it ends up being this Wendigo, and like that's how they draw them in. So then also gets them to turn into the Wendigo, which it's a lot, but okay. And then apparently it's a terrifying Native American beast that devours mankind. And that one was mostly told by the Egwalligan people. Oh, I think I said that right.
The Egwalligan?
Yeah, that also is about, that's also in Helltown too. They basically lived like...
They lived in Helltown or around it?
They were like one of the very first founders.
Oh, so there was like the Indian kind of...
Yeah, they were like... Yeah. They were the people that did the rituals.
Oh.
Yeah. Again, if you haven't watched the Helltown special, go check it out. Because I'm probably going to be referring to that one a lot too. They lived like in the Great Lakes region and along the Atlantic coast, but also on the Ohio part. That they also, them and the Native American people knew so much about it.
Yeah, it does seem more like a north thing. Because I never grew up hearing about the Wendigo down here.
Yeah, me neither. But there are stories about it being down here, and we're in the South. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, so this is the other part too. You know how I said it was the creature, and then how I said it was like an evil spirit? This is the evil spirit part. Wendigo means evil spirit that devours mankind, and some say it's a thin creature and like physique, really tall, like really tall and really thin. So basically how I already described it. Eyes that glow, long tongues, long fangs, yellowish skin, decaying with like matted hair. So it's sort of not the same to everybody, but like once you see it, you know what it is. So that part gets me. But yeah, so the first Wendigo warrior made a deal with the devil to save his tribe, and in order to save the tribe, he had to give up his soul, and he became the Wendigo, and then he became an outcast, and then he started like eating people.
I know. So I guess anybody who's an outcast is a Wendigo.
I don't understand some of this stuff, because also one of the theories is like, oh, if you're a cannibal, then you're gonna turn into a Wendigo, and I was like, that's like a trend, cannibalism.
Yeah.
So you're gonna tell me every cannibal in the world is a Wendigo? I don't, but legend has it, like when the Wendigo is killed, a human that they like kill the human is like frozen inside their body, and in order to get to the human and save the human, you have to kill the Wendigo. But yeah, that's just a legend. I don't really know about that one because the bodies are, I don't know how to explain that one. But okay, so each time that there was a sighting, this was kind of like in the 1900s and stuff, a weird death would follow that person. Like anytime that a person saw the Wendigo, like a weird death would follow them. And then a white settler saw it. And then later half of the 1800s and also the 1920s, sighting close to the town of Rosea in Minnesota, the Cree people, like, okay, they saw the sighting or whatever, and then it disappeared. And then now, like in the 2000s, not 2000s, right? The 2000s, I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
called.
2000s.
Yeah. I was thinking, like...
No, it's the 20s.
That's what I was about to say, then I was like, wait a minute. Then the Cree people, they made up this Wendigo-like dance And they had this person dress up like a Wendigo, and it was like their tradition. I don't understand that, but like, thought it was important to the story.
That's
yeah,
weird.
It is weird. Then also there's a thing about like Native Americans becoming hunters to find the Wendigo and kill it because like they didn't like it. Which, I mean, I don't know who would like it. There's this guy named Jack Findler. He was an 87-year-old Cree man. He killed Cree women in the 20th century, our century. He pled guilty, and then a woman said to be turned into a Wendigo. She was possessed by the evil spirits, and he said he had to kill her. Like, he had to kill her to save her so that she wouldn't become the Wendigo, the cannibal. And so he killed her and 13 others. So I was like, okay. And apparently, like, if you start breeding on the Wendigo, like, you turn a Wendigo crazy. And you turn into the Wendigo.
Really? So, good thing we only did an hour special, not a month special.
So if we turn into the Wendigo after this, guys, this is our evidence.
It'd be cannibalism told from the dark, like a Wendigo.
Jesus, could you imagine that? And then this is the medical side that we were talking about in the beginning. Wendigo means related to greed, selfishness, or like violence. So it literally, like, at first it was like a thing about like, but that's kind of the history. Now I'm gonna get on to the sightings, but before I do, you got anything to add?
No, I just been over here looking up at the pictures and some of the stuff. There was some video I was seeing. There was one video they showed. I don't know why they showed it because it didn't look like a Wendigo. I seen something on his roof and got a picture of it, but it looked like a freaking baby.
Ew.
It didn't look nothing like the Wendigo. All you seen was a bald round head and 2 eyes. Nothing like the Wendigo.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay,
so that's why I didn't say nothing about it. I was like, never mind.
Yeah, that is weird. Okay, so I'm gonna start off in Washington State. So if you want to look up the sightings in Washington, like for the pictures, you can, like, just in Washington. Okay, so we're gonna start off in Washington State, the eastern part. I got 2 stories. Okay, so these group of friends had this friend T. So T walked across their house to the street, and on the street it had like this old grain elevator, and it was like this old abandoned building, and it was like had like an old silo and stuff like that. It was like, I don't know exactly what it was, but it had like an old silo and like a grain and stuff like that.
Oh God, sorry.
You just lowered the crap out of your chair.
I know, I was trying to come up just a little, and I started going.
So they went over there, and they were just like, oh, let's go explore it. So he went by himself at first, and it was at night, which the worst time to go. So he went, and he came back like 20 minutes later, and he was flushed, pale, and he was really, really sweaty. Well, apparently he had saw a long, bony creature with long arms that had reached around the silo, and the silo was like 8 or 9 feet round.
Yeah, them silos that they keep grain and stuff in, they're pretty big around.
Yeah. Well, and then apparently, like, he was like so tall. Oh, obviously, I mean, all these stories are him being humongous. He was like 10 feet
Humongous.
tall. Why'd you do that? Oh, ew! It took me a minute. So the friend saw the arm, and then he shined the light at him, and it was gone. Like, it disappeared. So that was it. Sorry, I keep on putting my arm in this chair. So then the friend saw that happened, and Fred T told him what happened. So then this group of
Fred
friends
T
told, like, they were like, okay, let's just go over there and check it out. I'm pretty sure nothing happened. So they went over there, and the head of whatever was there popped out around a corner, and it was fast. Like, whenever they saw that, they bolted. But
I would too. I would have stuck around.
Same. But it was fast. They heard the footsteps. They felt cold patches, goosebumps, and then they saw yellow glowing eyes. And they were like, maybe it's a skinwalker because of like the ghost stuff that was happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then they saw the glowing eyes, and then how tall it was, and like the around the silo part with the how he reached his arms around the silo, and they were like, maybe it's a Wendigo. So that was really creepy.
Yeah.
But if I were to see that, I would be like, we're moving, because this thing was right across the street from where they lived.
I figured it out.
He figured something out, now he's looking at that. Okay, so that was weird, and I was like, I would move.
Yeah, I wouldn't play that either. Hey, I might try. I wonder if anybody's ever got like any. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna see if anybody's ever got any like real pictures.
Oh, not just animations?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, then this is the second story that's in Washington. These friends were sitting around like in a circle outside and talking, and they were like in this closed off part. You know how they have like these I don't really know how to explain this well. Like if you go outside, like if you're outside on your porch, you can like close it off with like the fly trap thingies, like the mesh things around the poles.
Yeah.
To make it to where bugs won't get into stuff. They had like something like that. Well, then they had another part that would lead outside. So they were in that part where the like screen door thingies were.
Yeah.
And then they heard something like outside. So one of the like the owner of the house got up and he was like, okay, I'm gonna go over there. And he went to go check it out, and he heard footsteps, and he was like, what the heck? So he said he saw a naked man, but he said he saw no visible face, and he was 8 feet tall.
Dang. I wish I was 8 feet tall. I would play basketball.
And then it was hunched over, like he saw, like they made eye contact, and this thing hunched over really slow, and then walked up on the porch, and then this guy like went back inside the screen part, like backed up, and then looked at his friends for a second, and then he looked back and he was gone.
Wow. There's a picture out here, but you can't really tell much from it.
I wish we knew how to like enhance the picture.
I know, well, they've already enhanced it some, but you can't make that one out. I mean, I'm not sold on that.
Yeah, you really can't. So that's all the ones in Washington State. Now, let's move on to California. This one's iffy because they described these as being dark watchers, but I thought I had to include it because I was going to leave it up to you guys. And also I want to get your opinion on it. So, okay. So these people who like were climbing mountains and stuff, they were doing it at night. Everybody seems to be doing stuff at night. Like, why would you do stuff at night? I don't understand. I don't do stuff at night.
The creature comes out today. It seems like.
I don't do stuff at night. You know what I do at night? I sleep. So they saw this tall humanoid figures.
I don't know. That looks just like some dude crawling.
But that's how they see a lot of them, though.
Oh, really? Like that?
Yeah. Tall, and then they crunch down, and they do that, and they walk away.
Screw that.
So anyway, they saw like these tall human-like figures and shapes like along the ridges of the mountains, and they were like, "That's weird." So then they like tried to approach them, and they disappeared. And they're like, maybe like they're the Indians, like that died there, I almost said National Americans, the Native Indians, maybe. But then they were like, maybe they're dog watchers, or maybe they're ghosts, or maybe it's. But then I was like, if this is a Wendigo, they would have seen more. You know, maybe would have attacked. So I thought that was funny too. Not funny, but like maybe some. Sorry, we looked at one and it looks like that looks somewhat like something like that they first described in the beginning. That looks really weird.
Yeah, because I am finding some pics. There's some pics that are like, I don't know, man.
But I mean,
then there's some that's like, they look pretty legit.
How close do you have to be to get that, and how severely injured were you after getting that picture?
Yeah.
So okay, I don't know about that one though. What do you think about that one?
Which one now?
Wow, the Dark Watcher one. I said maybe it was a Dark Watcher, maybe I said it wasn't in the Wendigo.
Oh, I'm not for sure, because I don't know. They kind of act like them skinwalkers and Wendigos kind of go hand in hand sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm not positive either. Okay, so next we're gonna move on to Idaho.
The pimp.
I have 2 stories, I believe. This first one is about a brother and a sister. Okay, so they were at a warm river campsite, they took an evening hike and they walked through a tunnel. So they walked through this tunnel. Sorry, I hit something. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I got it. I had to answer something.
Oh my god.
Ashley texted me. She said, "Are you guys podcasting?"
Oh, she wanted to come over?
I don't know, but I texted her and I said yes.
She
Okay.
can still come over.
Anyway, I lost my train of thought. So, okay, this brother and sister, they're at a Warm River campsite, and they are, walking through a tunnel. So they go through the tunnel, and they're at the opposite end from where they, came through.
Kind of like that tunnel at the on Helltown.
Yes. So
They was at this end, and they was at the other end shooting off them fireworks.
Yeah. So at the opposite end of where they went through, they were 2/3 of the way, and they heard like this terrible noise like they've never ever heard before, and they were like, "What?" And you'll notice this in a lot of the stories, like this Wendigo has like this specific sound.
This guy was just doing a selfie and caught that in the background.
Ew. But the Wendigos have like a certain sound, and it's not like something you've ever heard. It's like a lot of things put together. And
It's
really
weird because they did that on Helltown, and man, it was weird sound.
Yeah. Okay, so they heard it and they're like, okay, let's just turn around and go. So they turned around and went the direction of the noise, like back to the campsite. Then later that night, they heard like whispering and things moving around at the campsite, and they were like, okay, that's weird. Well, then the sister woke up the brother, and she was like, hey, stuff's happening. Come on, let's go check it out. And he goes, no, go back to sleep. We'll be there in the morning. So then they get up, and like, there's no evidence of like nothing being there, but the sister was up all night because she could not sleep because of the noise. So that was weird. But they didn't physically see anything, but like they heard. Sorry, there was a picture of somebody eating somebody else.
Well, I just lost mine.
But they heard the noise, and that noise is very like distinctive. It's really good. So, okay, and then the second one. This is, if this were me, I would burn the camp to the ground. So this is another campsite story. This is a reunion with the family. And the kid, like, you know how like at the reunions, like all the adults go and play, and then all like not play.
Yeah,
they go.
The adults will go do their thing, and the kids will go play.
Yeah, so the cousins and everything were all playing, and they were playing hide and go seek. Well, the seeker was playing, doing her thing, and then she heard a whistle, and stuff. And I guess that was like they were using whistles like to be like, hey, come over here, maybe I'm over here, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, hey, you know. So she walked the direction of the whistle, and she came upon this underwear tree.
A what?
An underwear tree.
There's actually underwear hanging off a freaking tree?
Yes.
What kind of reunion is this?
I guess they put their clothes there to dry, but I don't understand. So she got there, and as she got closer, she got like this uneasy feeling in her stomach. And she yelled out, I found you. She got no reply, and she was like, okay, that's weird. So she turned around, she went to go back. And as she was walking away, she heard the reply, you almost had me. So she turned around and she was like, what the heck? Why didn't you answer me? So she went back up there. And she flashed her light at the trees, and it was not her cousin. She said it looked like a poorly drawn stick figure with lifeless eyes, and the skin had looked like it was pulled from like the back of like the head, like it was literally getting pulled off the face. That's what it looked like. And it had just like stretched features, just like everything looked like it was stretched.
That's nuts.
So she screamed. She dropped her light, and she hauled butt to where everybody else was.
I would have. I'd been out of that son of a...
It ran after her, and all the cousins were with the adults, and she was like, what? So then they heard sounds around the campsite all night, and the adults were like, oh, come on, you're just being a kid, like, and there's nothing there, you know how adults are. But she was terrified, so yeah. Okay, so this is in Montana.
What do you think? I know it's not what we're researching, but
That
when I
looks
see-
like a poorly drawn Slender Man.
I mean, I don't know. There's some of these pictures I can't verify and be like, oh, they're real.
I mean, that
Because
don't look like the Wendigo, but that looks like some different
it
version
looks
of
like
Slender
someone's
Man.
trying to be the Slender Man and they're not doing good.
Yeah.
I hope that was Jackson. It better have been.
I know after this some stuff that happened today, I'm not ready for an actual ghost. So, okay, this is in Montana. Y'all know I like to mispronounce my states. So,
Hey, Montana's one of our people that like. We got a couple of followers from Montana.
oh yeah. What's up, y'all? Okay, so this is the only story I have in Montana. So, this guy was driving out to Canada. He was leaving Montana, going to Canada. And he was driving out in a snowstorm. He was like, I can make it, I'm fine. So he got on the main route. It was closed. And then he had to turn around. And he was like, okay, I'm going to put a CD in, just to ease my mind and just listen to it. So he put it in. Then he heard a scratching noise, like, in the middle of it, and interrupted it. So then he adjusted the volume. And something about the F-150 lost traction. What is that?
That means his truck lost traction.
Oh, I didn't understand the F-150. I was like, well, what? So, that lost traction. The car came to a screeching halt, and his hood got buried under, like, a mountain of snow.
Oh, man.
So he crashed on the side of the road. So then he gets out of the car, and he's like, what am I going to do? Well, then he hears his father's voice calling him from, like, the opposite side of the road.
See, and that's crazy because that's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard they
Mimic.
they'll mimic any voice that you're familiar with.
Yeah, okay, well, and what's creepy about this, not only did he hear his father's voice, his father had been missing for like 20-something years.
Oh my god.
Because he got lost in a snowstorm and they declared him dead.
Oh, the Wendigo got him.
So, he heard his father's voice and he was like, what? So he, whenever you hear like a loved one's voice at first, you're like, oh my god. Or that's how it is in movies,
Yeah.
I've never heard that, so I can't say. After they die. So he heard it and he like starts slowly walking to it. And he answered him and he was like, hi? And he started walking to it and then he froze up after like a couple steps. And then the voice became distorted and it didn't sound like his dad. And then he heard the voice like right in front of him and then he ran. Well, and then he woke up in a hospital, and it turns out that he had like almost froze to death.
Oh my god.
And somebody driving found him.
Wow.
So they told him what happened, and they were like, "Oh, it was just a dream." And he was like,
No, it wasn't.
"No." But yeah,
It was not a dream.
being out in a snowstorm is scary enough. Because that reminded me of the Krampus movie.
Oh god, yeah.
So I was like,
Is that why you try to be nice at Christmas?
well, it's Christmas, but... So, okay, this is the Wyoming story.
See, look at this. Look at that.
Ew!
It's like jumping down.
Yeah, that's... Ugh.
Wow.
I don't like that. Y'all need to go look up some pictures and videos. And send us
See,
what you
this
guys
one's
think.
creepy too, but it's another one of them that I don't know.
It's too dark to tell.
Yeah, and I can't tell because it looks. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of question.
Okay, so this one's in Wyoming. So this person had went to a party at a friend's house. And they like met their cousin there and stuff, and the older cousin was like, hey, can we go camping? And the parents were like, yeah, because you're 21 and this kid's like 13, so I trust you. So they went camping. Well, they got to the site that they were going camping at, and it was dark, and they're like, okay, let's play a game. Don't know why everyone decides to do stuff in dark, but that seems to be the theme. So they played a game. I don't know what game they were playing, and never did specify, but it had something to do with guns and hiding.
And hiding?
Yeah, guns and hiding. So
Well, it's number one, they're not very good gun officers. They're stupid. You don't
yeah,
hide and play with guns.
and also it's dark. I'm surprised no one got shot. So this guy They think it was the younger guy. He was hiding behind a tree, and he saw like something in like one of the cut line of the tree, and he was like, okay. So he thought it was, his cousin, and then he saw the outline of the shoulder, and he was like, that's a tall person. Well, then this thing got in the quarterway of the tree, and he shot the BB guns at it. Oh yeah, so it was a BB gun. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
I forgot it.
Sometimes kids, it's not smart to do, but they'll play, like with the guns and shoot each other.
I forgot it was a BB gun. My bad. But still, it was a night BB gun. But anyway, so they shot BBs at it, but it ended up not being a person. So like this thing, it was like slowly coming forward, and then he saw it like move and stuff, and he was like, okay, I got you. But it ended up not being the thingy. So he got this awful like stench that just hit him, and then it stood up. It was 9 feet tall. It was lanky. He had glowing red eyes, and the head was like a deer head. Well, then the skull, like it had a head, deer skull. Then the bottom jaw was human. So, the mouth lined with like slender teeth, like scary teeth, like piranha teeth. And then he ran after seeing it, and ran to the car, and then they both high-tailed it at him. And they ran after them, and then they drove away, and it disappeared.
Wow.
So, now this next story is in Utah, and this is up in the mountains, and this one creeped me out, and I never want to go hiking. I mean, I don't, but like I never want to because of this story.
Come on, let's go Wendigo hiking.
No. Okay, so this is a little bit confusing because I was kind of confused reading it, so like I'm sorry. But so this girl liked to go hiking, and she went hiking all the time. Well, she had went one day. She always took her dog. She had this dog she always took with her. Well, she had brought a bag of like raw meat all the time, like for her dog, because they stayed there. They went really, really early, and they had stayed there like through lunch. So she packed something for her and like brought raw meat for her dog instead of bringing dog food. So they got their stuff together, and they went on this hiking trail. Well, she was looking up a new hiking place, and she found one on the Yelp, and it had one good review. And so she's like, okay, that's really weird, but let's go try it out, let's try new things. So she like starts doing it, and she finds it finally. Like she couldn't find it for like 20 minutes, and this trail was hidden like underneath a mountain. Like it was literally hidden.
Wow. Somebody's been using that trail. Maybe it's the Wendigos.
Well, so she gets to this thing, and it was really, really steep. Like it was just uphill for like the longest time. Then it ends up being like this huge meadow, and it was really beautiful. So they get to this meadow. Well, the dog, the human's still walking, and the dog stops in the middle, and he's just staring at something. Well, so the owner stopped, and she's like, okay, well, my dog's obviously seeing something. I'm gonna stop. Well, then she smelled this awful smell that, like, it burnt her nose, and she started crying.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
And that's weird, too. I've always heard that about not just the Wendigo. I mean,
Wendigo.
the Wendigos. That, there's certain, like, Bigfoot. He's got a smell.
Ew.
It's just like every one of these mythical, I'm not saying mythical, but every one of these creatures that we haven't seen yet. I mean, people seen they're out there, but these creatures that people see, they always are like, well, we smelt it first. It was like a bad stench. Every time.
Yeah. Okay. So she smelt it, then she looked ahead, and she saw, like, this deer just, in the meadow. She's like, oh, that's so cute. Well, then she looked back at her dog, and she looked at the back of the deer. The deer slowly starts to stand on its hind legs, and this thing ends up being so tall, and immediately she knew it was the Wendigo because she was a Native American. So she was like, "Ha, I know what you are." But she's still like shocked because I mean, like, who wouldn't be? Sorry, I tried to hiccup. And this thing stood up on its hind legs, and this is the first time I've actually heard it like actually talk, like not like mimic the voice. It says, "I am the creature of this land." And then
I am the creature of this land.
yeah, and then it like runs full speed at her and chases her. So she's like, "Oh crap!" So she runs away, and the dog was following her, but like not that fast. Well, then
Wendigo got the dog.
hang on. So then she looked back and the dog was gone. Well, then she looked forward and she hit her head and she passed out for like 10 minutes. Then she woke up to the dog having blood come out of its neck. Then she heard a scream in the forest and she didn't see the Wendigo. Well, then the Wendigo came and picked up the dog and took it. Well, then she ran to the waterfall. She saw a waterfall and she's like, "Ha, it's safe. It can't get me in there." I have no idea where she heard this, but also she's Native American and this is like a Native American folklore thing. So, like, I guess she knew about it. I guess she was like, "I know."
Hide in the water.
So she ran to it and she got her dog back somehow. I'm very unclear about how she did, but she got her dog back somehow. And so then she that's
All the dogs are inside.
some stuff is happening in our house right now. Okay, so she got the dog back, and then this Wendigo is like slowly walking towards her. She's backing up to the waterfall. Well, she's in the waterfall completely, has her back to it, and the Wendigo, she said the eyes were black. Like, that's all she saw. Well, then she said that she has the backpack still, and she's like, "Oh my God, there's raw meat in here. I can throw it and it'll distract him." So she threw it. Well, then the Wendigo, still walking towards her, and then it reached up to her, and she screamed, and then it heard another scream in the forest, and it looked towards the scream, and then it said, "I am the one of this land," again, and then it went on all fours and walked to the bag, tore the bag up, and disappeared. Well, then this girl is freaking out because her dog's like dying in front of her, so she takes her to the vet, and the dog almost died, but it didn't. So I was like, okay, but
The doggy didn't die.
But yeah, that one was really weird and creepy. So yeah. Okay. How are we doing on time?
We're doing alright. I looked last time.
Dang.
41.
We're already at like 41 minutes. We haven't even been here that long. Okay. So this one is in New Mexico.
That makes sense. They had a lot of Indians too.
Yeah. Okay. So these friends went like shooting, just shooting their guns at like a gun range. Well, they had came back and their car wouldn't start. Well, so
Wendigo took the battery.
so they had to have somebody like come get them or like come repair their car. Well, I guess they had like other friends with them. Like it wasn't just in one car; it was like 2 cars. Well, so the other car that they had, it wasn't big enough for like because they had taken their dog with them. Like I guess he was a hunter dog, so they took their dog with them.
Yeah.
Well, they had left the dog, in this car that wasn't working. And this is the part that I don't understand. I didn't know that you could still have your AC on if your car didn't work.
You can't. If your car ain't running, you can't have the air
Okay,
conditioning.
well, because they said they put the AC on.
There's no way.
Well, I guess that they maybe put the windows down or something. I don't know. But I was like, okay, well, they left their dog in this car that wouldn't start. And they said that this dog was like so fierce and everything. It was like if you had met like this man that was like, okay, I don't know how to describe it, but this dog that was like so fierce and everything that was like, just wouldn't bow down to anything. Well, they came back after they had, gotten help, and this dog was underneath the seat crying.
Yeah.
Well, it was trembling and everything. And so then they looked around, they're like, what the heck? They thought someone tried to attack their dog or something. So they looked around and they saw like this tall grass patch. They saw what looked like to be a human. Well, and it slowly started turning into a dog thingy, like what it traditionally looks like. And they said it slows your, it turned into like a thin dog. It stood up on it went down on all fours, and then it ran away. So they were like, forget this. They took the dog and then ran.
Yeah, I wouldn't have stayed there either.
They said, we're gonna squeeze this dog in.
Well, there's some of them. I mean, there's some of that stuff I believe. I mean, like the Wendigo and stuff. I mean, yeah, you might have seen it. It might seem kind of spiritual. And, man, I noticed I'm getting a shine off my bald head like that.
Okay,
Next time I wear a hat.
I still have 10 stories to tell.
10 stories? Oh, God.
Like 10 states to go through.
Well, you want to do this for an hour and make it a 2-part special? Or you can do this. We can say, do this for an hour this week, this month.
And they come back.
And then next month, we can finish up with the Wendigo.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Have a special, have the same special, but with it being so long.
Okay.
Because, you know, there are going to probably be some things that we do talk about and do a special on that's going to be pretty huge.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys, we didn't think this through. I didn't think it'd be longer than an hour.
It's okay.
So let me finish.
Just keep going for about another, how many more stories you got? 10?
Yeah, I'm going to do Colorado and then we'll wrap it up. Do you think that'll be
That'll be, do Colorado,
because
wrap
we
it
got
up.
to still do our shout-outs and stuff like that.
Yeah. So this special is August special, apparently. So the part 2 of this will be
September.
Oh, which would be good because, man, September, we're going to really try to focus on September and October. We're really try to focus on some really scary, since I cover urban legends and folklores and all that, I'm going to find the real scary stuff. And she's still going to stick with the ghost stories and find some real good, juicy stuff.
And September is my birth month. So.
Because that's what I hate about Halloween. It only gets to last for a month in October. But heck, look at Christmas. It's around for 4 freaking months.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so let's talk about Colorado and then we'll discuss other stuff in a minute. Okay, so this happened in 2015, and this was at this place called Pikes Park. And this guy was a wilderness survivor enthusiast. And he lived out there. He would only come down to get food and occasionally do stuff, but he pretty much lived in the woods. He loved it. I don't know. So
there's some people like that. They just want to cut away from the outside world and just damn.
Yeah. Okay, so his friend and him, he was like, okay, I want to show you what I do and how I get by. So his friend and him were, just hanging out. Well, then they went on this hike. So they were climbing and hiking up this huge mountain. And guess when they did it?
Seeing the indigo.
No.
The Wendigo.
No, not when. No, when. Guess when they did it?
Okay.
At night.
Why would you go climbing and hiking at night? I don't understand these fucking people. I'm sorry for my language. Sorry to drop the F-bomb, but golly, what's wrong?
I don't know. So they, and
even all the healthy people I know that exercise, they're in bed at night. They work out during the day, or they might get up early, but hey, it's 12 o'clock, I gotta go do my hike workout. Hey, you wanna go climb some mountains at night?
So they were climbing this mountain at night. Well, he looked down at his friend, and he was shaking, and he was pale, and he was sweaty, and he was holding a machete. So his friend was like, dude, are you gonna kill me? What are you doing? And he was like, no, I'm just really scared. Well, he wouldn't tell him what was going on. He was just like, I'll tell you when we get up, where we're going. And he was like, okay. Well, when he got up there, to where they were going, when he got up, the mountain thing, he was like, I felt like I was being watched. So what happened while his friend was climbing the mountain, he looked up, at trees that were, on the mountain thingy, and he was, about 30 feet away. He saw this Wendigo thing. He said it has, eyes, kind of like the deer. Antlers, he had a lean body, he looked sick, and he was gray. Well, he was, they had eye contact, and it would follow them, as they were going up and up and up the mountain. Well, and there's this part where they had to turn a corner, and this guy felt as they if his partner turned the corner, then the Wendigo would eat him, get him, because he felt malicious, You know, he felt the vibes. Like, you could feel the vibes. And he felt that vibe. Like, he was going to kill him. So he told his friend this, and his friend was like, it's okay. Like, you know? So he saw that, and he was like, I don't want to come back. You have fun, but I'm not going to come back.
I'm going to stay up here doing this by myself. I love hiking at night by myself.
So, yeah, his friend, yeah.
I don't know if I'd go with the guy hiking you that runs around with a machete.
No, that was his friend that was visiting. But, because, like, you know, his other friend had, like, a gun. He just kept a gun on him at all times, because you're out there in the wilderness by yourself.
Yeah, you never know. You might walk across a deadly rattlesnake, or a deadly poisonous snake, or a big bear.
Or a killer might just be there trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Just anything. Well, and this friend was like, I don't have a gun, but I have a machete. I'll bring it in case something happens. Well, then he saw the Wendigo, and he was like, ha! For protection. I don't know how that's going to help. So, well, that's that story, and I have about 10 left.
So,
here's what we're going to do. We kind of discussed in between a story, but we're going to do this into 2 parts. We are going to leave this part for the August special, and then the second part for the Wendigo will be on September. So, make sure you guys listen to this before you guys go to September.
Yes. And I think for October, I'm going to really focus on folklores and stories of mineral wells.
Yeah, I'm gonna find some
mineral
stuff
wells, Palapina, you know, kind of right here around my
keeping
area.
it local. And thank you to everybody who has been listening. We have been noticing that our stuff has been growing, and
Facebook's growing.
Yes,
thank you very
we got
much.
like 130 likes, and I'm so happy. So, okay, make sure that you do go and follow us on Facebook. It is South Texas Ghost. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Sorry.
Ghost stories told from the South.
Thank you. I was thinking about our Instagram and Twitter. Okay, but yes, go make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We have gotten more followers on Instagram. We got some podcasts following us on Instagram, so I'm very thankful for that. And I got a DM the other day saying that they loved our podcast, and I was like,
awesome, guys. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. I love it. And just keep on coming at us and everything. Not coming at us, but...
Yeah, just keep on coming at us with knives and stuff.
About the Wendigo. You know, just look up pictures and stuff. Or
Yeah.
if you know anything else, or you have stories, send them to us.
And another thing, if y'all got stories from y'all's local area, hey, here's the thing, Halloween's coming up, guys.
Yeah, send me stories on Facebook or like Instagram or whatever.
Send us through Facebook or DM us, email. I mean, you can get a hold of us 4 or 5 different ways and tell us some real scary crap that happened on in your town or your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Any folklores and all that good stuff. And guys, I've got our application in for iHeart. I should hear something about them in about another month. But if everything goes good, we'll be on iHeart. But go check us out on Stitcher, Stitcher, Spotify. Google Play, all that good stuff.
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
And I noticed that our stats, we got... Now, if I don't remember all these, I'm so sorry. There's so many people in the States.
Oh, God, yeah.
I know we got New Mexico recently. We got Pennsylvania the other day.
Yeah.
We got, I think, Utah the other day, too. We got Indiana the other day. We got a lot, but those are, like, the most recent that I noticed.
Yes. We got close to 30 states, I think, so far.
We got, what are the other ones that we got?
Oh, gosh. California.
No, not the states, like the other.
Oh. Bangladesh.
New Zealand.
UK.
Poland.
London. Canada.
We have, like, the university, or not university, we have, like, it's the United Arab.
Oh, United Arabic Nations or something like that.
We need to start writing them down, but like we've been here for like 20 minutes just trying to thank everybody. But
they're pretty new too.
Yeah, but thank you everybody so much, and we do
go check
love
us
this.
out, and we appreciate everything. But keep listening, man. We love doing this.
Yes, we do.
And I'm glad our sound has gotten better. I hope it's gotten better for y'all. But y'all go, y'all start liking our stuff and following us more too, man. And we're getting our goal accomplished. You know. On my other podcast, I never did it on this one. I was like, y'all download some stuff and get us up to 300 downloads, and y'all are getting there. Just keep it up. Get us 300 downloads, and then that will work on 500, and then 1,000. I think we can do it though, because we're getting pretty decent at this, and we're getting our crowd growing. Y'all seem to like it.
And if you guys have any suggestions, just tell us or like email us. You're not gonna hurt our feelings. Just let us know, and yeah, just
check us out, man. Let us know.
We wanna make this the best for y'all.
Yes, it's gonna be great. I tell you.
Yeah.
But y'all
Okay.
be safe and don't go. Let me give you some advice. If you're in your buddies, if y'all are health people and like to exercise and all that, hey, go for it, man. But
don't go at 3
if
o'clock.
your friends and you were like, dude, let's go like hiking, but it's midnight. Who cares? No, that's the wrong time to go. Don't go climbing, because that's when you run into the Bigfoots and the Wendigos and all that shit.
Or demons.
Yeah. So let's just keep it on the down low with that, so y'all can be safe and y'all can come back and listen to our podcast.
Yeah. But okay, we will see you guys next week.
We will see you later, and this has been Ghost Stories Told from the South, and I am your host, Stephen LeBooth, and this is
your co-host, Lexi LeBooth.
And we will see you guys later, you fantastic, scary, ghostly people.
Bye. So do you want to record the rest of Special 2 today?
I guess we could, and just hide it back.
Special 3.2. Break first thing?
Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll just go here.
Dude, if that was the kids, we need to tell them to stop. But we need to figure out what the hell that was.
No, that wasn't a kid scratching. That was dogs scratching.
But they're all in here. Oh, okay. Wow, Dad.
I'm gonna see something.
Hang on, guys. Dad's being stupid.
Here's the mic. Camera.
Currently in use, so you can't do it when it's on. So go turn the mic off. Turn the camera off. Bye.